Hi everyone, welcome to another one of our videos. My name is Sidney and I'm the education programmer here at the Sidney Museum, which is located on the traditional territory of the Wasanich people, whose relationship to this land has lasted since time immemorial and continues to this day, and we are so honored to get to be here. Now this week we're getting a little bit nostalgic and checking out 123 Sesame Street. It's set number 21324. It's an ideas set that was released just last year in 2020 and contains 1,367 pieces. Now, if you take a look around, you can see it comes with 6 classic Sesame Street characters as minifigures. We have Big Bird, got Bert and Ernie, got Elmo, Cookie Monster, and Oscar the Grouch. Now, Sesame Street has been running for over 50 years, so the designers for this set had a lot of content to draw from when they hid in all their references and Easter eggs. So there's a lot in this set. And I can promise you I am not going to point out every single reference because we just don't really have the time to do so. So if you see something that I miss, please put it in the comments on this video. Tell us what you see. Now, this set shows 2 of the original locations on Sesame Street. They've been there since the beginning. Of course, we have the Brownstone, 123 Sesame Street, and we also have Hooper's store right over here. Now, Hooper's is the general store on Sesame Street. It's also a bit of a gathering place for all of the characters, and it's stocked to sell everything they're going to need, including newspapers. If you look out front, we have a couple of them there. One of the headlines talks about Super Grover saving the day again. Now, Hooper's originally was owned by Mr. Harold Hooper. He was a character on the show at the very beginning, and it remained so until the actor who played Mr. Hooper actually died in the 1980s. Since then, Hooper's has been owned by a couple of other characters, but Sesame Street has always kept it as Hooper's store, as a bit of a tribute to him. And actually, if you look over at Big Bird's nest here, Big Bird had a really special relationship with Mr. Hooper, and there's a drawing of him in the back, as done by Big Bird. So it's a nice tribute that Sesame Street has done and that the Lego set has echoed here. Now, if you keep looking around Big Bird's nest, we have a few other details to point out. We have his teddy bear radar, and also on the wall is a picture of his imaginary woolly mammoth friend Snuffleupagus. So, some cute little features. If we look back down at the bottom along the street, you can see another really classic character, and personally my favorite, Oscar the Grouch. He is in his garbage can as he should be, and he looks very grumpy, and I expect nothing less. But a cute detail that they've given for Oscar is they've actually included his pet Smiley the worm, if you see that little piece right there. They got a lot of good attention to detail in this set for sure. Now, anyone who's watched any of these videos knows that there is always more happening around back in these Lego sets. So we'll take a look at some of this stuff. Now, this area right here, it's above Hooper's store. We have an apartment for Cookie Monster. But before we check out the actual room, we want to take a closer look at the minifigure. They've actually given Cookie Monster his googly eyes. So it's a really good attention to detail that makes it feel like this really is the Muppet that we all know and love. But if you look at the room behind him, you can see he's watching VHS tapes of Guy Smiley, a game show host. For the kids watching, VHS is how we watch movies before DVDs, which is how we watched movies before Netflix. And there's also a big picture of the Count up behind him there. Now, obviously, Lego couldn't include minifigures of every classic Sesame Street character because there are so many. But a nice thing they've done is they've included drawings or little tributes to some of the characters that they had to leave out, like the Count. And if you look on the side of the Brownstone here, there's a couple more. There's a big drawing of Zoe in front of a really beautiful garden that includes a wand, because she's a fairy. And then up at the top, we have an advertisement for Biff and Sully's construction. So they're not here, but they do still get a little bit of acknowledgement. And now that brings us to the Brownstone itself. Now it's a really colorful, the whole set's really colorful, but I find inside here has some really bright, big swaths of color. Now the bottom floor is Elmo's bedroom. And, he's got a lot of toys. And there's also up at the back there a picture of him and his dad, as well as Zoe and Rosita. So some really cute little details. And also, it might be tricky to see, but at the back there, we have his goldfish, Dorothy. Now, in the TV show, she's a real goldfish. Here, it's just a Lego piece. Now, we go up another floor. We get to Bert and Ernie's apartment, probably the most famous room in Sesame Street. And this one is full of details. Of course, we have the bathtub with Ernie's rubber ducky. There's also Bert's bottle cap collection on the wall there. At the back, there's the famous picture of the two of them that's been in their apartment, I think since the beginning of the TV show. And one other thing I want to point out is this little book here. So it says cooking with oatmeal, and there's actually a recipe on the inside, or at least ingredients. It's 1 cup of oatmeal, 1 mango, and buttermilk. So I don't know what they're making, but I mean, it's got the ingredients. And this is actually a reference to a Bert and Ernie sketch from the 1970s. That's a bit of a classic, where all Bert wants to do is sit and read his book, Cooking with Oatmeal, and Ernie makes him play a rhyming game, and he ends up getting really into it. It's a very cute sketch. I recommend looking it up on YouTube. So like I said, this set is absolutely full of references and Easter eggs from 50 years of content. And I can promise you I have not mentioned all of them here. Partially because we don't have enough time, but also because I'm not sure I get all of the references. But that's one of the great things about TV shows like Sesame Street. So many of us have grown up watching this TV show that we all remember different little pieces of it, different things stick with us. For example, this bit on the top here, this UFO, this is a reference to the Yip Yips, aliens that regularly visit Sesame Street, and they're pretty popular, which I completely forgot about until our archivist Adrian pointed it out to me, and I then looked them up, and yes, they are quite hilarious. So please, tell me what you see. What did I miss that stands out to you? Or what do you remember about this great TV show? We'd love to hear from you. We want to know what sticks with you. So thank you all for joining us this week. We hope you enjoy these videos, and as always, if you have any thoughts, comments, or Sesame Street recollections, please put them in the comments on this video and we'll answer as soon as we can. If you are enjoying the videos and want to support the museum, you can do so by visiting sydneymuseum.ca/support and by liking and sharing these videos and our other posts. That's going to be all for us this week, and we will see you next time with even more Lego. Bye, everybody.